La idea de la charla de Ashley es justamente esto, todas estas herramientas que nosotros utilizamos para desarrollar nuestro portfolio sustentable de materiales autoadhesivos son herramientas que se pueden utilizar en el packaging sustentable en general. Así que bueno, cualquier consulta que tengan, estoy yo de UPM Raflatac y si no, está Claudio y Paula también del equipo. Y vamos a seguir con las charlas si no hay más preguntas. Tenemos como invitado a Vincent Tavernier, es Packaging Solution Manager de UPM Raflatac en el equipo de Francia, y él estuvo trabajando con la gente de Pernod Ricard en un proyecto para la reducción de huella de carbono de uno de sus productos. Así que no sé si está Vincent. Recuerden, para hacer las consultas, ingresar a Menti, y el código para las consultas de este evento es 25505488. No se olviden. Vamos, ¿está Vincent por ahí?
Yes, I'm here.
Acá está.
Hi,
Hi
everyone.
Vincent, hello, how are you? Hi Lisa,
Fine, and you?
welcome.
Hi.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks a lot for your
Vincent.
time.
Hi, Lisa.
I was introducing your talk, so I think it's your time to speak now. You're good to go.
Yes.
Yes.
So are you going to share your screen? We can see you and we can hear you.
Do you see my screen or not? Not
Yes,
yet.
we can.
You see my screen?
Yes.
No sé, no, I think we're
Ah,
watching
no,
the
es la
general.
placa.
And
Not
now
yet.
perhaps not yet. Okay. Okay, so let me try something else. I'm sorry for the delay.
No worries.
Bueno, todo el mundo conocerá el grupo Pernod Ricard, me imagino. De cualquier manera, por si alguien no lo tiene tan presente, es uno de los principales grupos productores de bebidas a nivel global. Deben estar en todos los países donde se comercializa alcohol.
Sí, en todo el mundo.
Van de vino a destilados. En Francia es una operación muy importante para ellos. Y la idea de hoy es que Vincent, con una entrevista, una charla con Lisa, nos compartan un caso práctico, un ejemplo de cómo se puede impactar con la tecnología actual. Okay.
Okay, now we can see your screen.
Okay.
Now you're good
So
to
now
go.
I think we can begin.
Yes.
I hope. So, buenos días a todos. Estamos muy felices de estar virtualmente aquí con ustedes. And now, in order to avoid any disaster, I will switch in English. Design. The original definition of design is an aesthetic applied to the search for new form adapted to their function. In recent years, the second part of this definition has been discarded in our wine and spirits segment to make way for styling. Design embodies the intangible, to be it emotion, context, or essence. It must reveal the most important and lasting value of the brand, which matters to the consumer. The more the incarnation is pragmatic, the more it makes sense. This brings us to the meaning. However, this functional design is becoming increasingly relevant in a context of consumption in search of meaning. This meaning, which is not only linked to the storytelling of the brand, but also, and above all, linked to the act of purchase. This is the famous I buy what I am, or I am what I buy. It depends on the point of view. Beyond the function of the object that I buy, what it says about me is essential. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And what you do just proves what you believe in. Meaning without design is lifeless, and design without meaning is dumb. Once we have said that, sustainability imposes itself on us as the real winner, the essential, but also the trap topic. Creating value is a common goal of most organizations. The search for sustainability has added a new economic dimension. For all brands, the new economic model is now access to social responsibility and the ecological awareness. With the consumer in search of meaning and transparency, greenwashing is no longer relevant and the client's sanction is immediate. The aesthetic allowed is subjective, versatile, whereas the meaning creates the consensus. That's why I'm very happy to team up with you again, Lisa, to talk about Lillet and the huge step you've taken on your packaging. And just before giving you the floor, let me illustrate my previous point on your packaging. I grant you it's not visually obvious, and yet it testifies to a deep change in the brand strategy. Before going into details, Lisa, in few words, could you explain to us who Lillet is and what is your brand story?
Yes, of course. Hi, everybody. So to speak about the history of Maison Lillet, in 1872, Maison Lillet was founded by two brothers, Paul and Raymond Lillet, only 17 and 20 years old at the time, so quite young entrepreneurs. They settled in a small village south of Bordeaux named Podensac. Then, at the end of the 19th century, tonic wines were quite popular in France, therefore taking advantage of our great Bordeaux vineyards. The two brothers created the first wine aperitif from Bordeaux, Quina Lillet, in 1887 using some of their fruit liqueurs. The success was fast both in France and export, starting with England in the 30s and the US in the 60s, where Lillet became the drink of New York high society. In the 70s, more than 80% of production was shipped to the US, and that's where Bruno Bory, a sales director at a wine negociant in Bordeaux, discovered Lillet and fell in love with it. So in 1985, he decided to acquire Maison Lillet, which was on sales with the ambition to restore the French market and expand the US one. He revamped the product and their packaging, staying true to the essence of Lillet with the ambition to strike the right balance between a century-old recipe and a modern know-how. To cut it short, after meeting renewed success in France, he sold the company to the Pernod Ricard Group in order to launch the product on another scale, the world. In the past years, Lillet has relaunched in Germany, marking a transition for the brand to global growth and acceleration. Lillet is now a success story in Germany, but also in Austria, Belgium, or the USA. If we focus on our presence across the world, today Lillet is an international rising star. Authenticity, personality, and know-how, addition to the great Pernod Ricard sales team, is our key for success. Indeed, Lillet is identified as a global big bet by Pernod Ricard, brand that fits global consumer trends and has a high growth potential. We sold 9 million liters in 2021, and we were at 33% in volumes despite COVID. Lillet is activated in 30 countries. And as I said previously, we have a real success story in Germany, 6 million liters in 2021, Australia, Belgium, and also in the USA, Korea, and in Argentina, because Argentina has been launched in 2021. And we opened new markets at the beginning of this year, like Cambodia, Chile, South Africa, Croatia, and Philippines. About the production side, sorry. Today, we are still producing in Podensac, near Bordeaux, with new cellars in construction at Maison Lillet. We are a dedicated team of 10 persons who oversees the authentic production process of Lillet. It is our mission to be the guardian of the temple, to continue the great heritage of Paul and Raymond, and be worthy of the trust of our clients. Say what you do what you say is our motto. So we strive every day to deliver the quantities with continued quality. But what is Lillet? So Lillet is a subtle blend of carefully selected local wines and fruit infusions. It is a wine aperitif at 17 degrees ABV, craft with 85% wine and 50% fruit and quinine infusions. If I speak about the Lillet making process, first, our team rigorously selects the wines used for Lillet based on their qualities and organoleptic complexity and impact on environment. We select the best fruits, fruit peels, and barks according to their freshness and aromatic richness. Then, fruit maceration begins. As the fruits and peel start separately, there flows slow cold maceration in alcohol. Once ready, fruit maceration are blended with the wine. This phase is called vinage. And Lillet Rosé is bottled at this stage in order to keep its freshness and lightness, giving place to a great aromatic finesse. Lillet Blanc and Lillet Rouge Cuvée spend several months in oak barrels to allow the aromas to mellow. When Lillet batches have reached the perfect aromatic quality and degree of maturity, they are blended and then bottled. The aging and the blending give Lillet its fruity, rich, and balanced flavor. Okay, so that's it for the presentation of our Maison Lillet and its beverage. So now let's talk about our corporate social responsibility commitments. Indeed, with this great growth comes great responsibility. So our product comes from nature. We have to be respectful about it. Lillet has always been taking environmental commitments in order to ensure being in line with global issues. It is in its DNA. These commitments are in line with Pernod Ricard Global Corporate Social Responsibility Roadmap, which is named Good Times from a Good Place, which aims at reducing carbon intensity of the group by 50% by 2030. For example, about sourcing, at Maison Lillet, 97% of the ingredients used to produce Lillet come from France, more than 80% from the Southwest. We developed wine planting contracts with Bordeaux wine growers, which guarantees a sustainable income for Lillet's partners, while the brand enjoys a qualitative and a trustworthy sourcing of its wine. We implement incentives to vineyards to help them convert to sustainable agricultural practices. So, sourcing a part of our wines from high environmental value and Terravitis certified suppliers. Addition to that, our oak barrels produced entirely in France are sourced from forests sustainably managed by the National Forestry Office. And since January 2021, 100% of wines used in Lillet's making process are now supplied by tankers fueled with bioethanol produced locally with grape waste, therefore reducing Maison Lillet carbon emissions by 24 tons each year. About the elaboration, it's a traditional French elaboration by passionate people. 100% of fruits used in the infusion process are composted less than 30 kilometers away from Maison Lillet. We recycle over 97% of the waste generated during the production process, and we also work on reducing our energy consumption. In fact, producing a bottle of Lillet is today requiring 50% less energy and water than in 2017. So now we've talked about our product. Let's talk about the revolutionary packaging.
Thank you, Lisa. Effective brands know how to recognize our nostalgia for a simpler past and protect us for permanent change. Lillet, as you said, has existed since the end of 19th century. Making a change in continuity is the hardest thing for a brand. When you decide to change your packaging, what was the trigger for this need and what do you expect from that change?
As you could understand, when talking about the project, the change of our packaging was a logical continuation of our approach to reduce our environmental impact. There were different options, like rupturistic ones, but we chose not to destabilize the consumer and therefore preserved the visual presentation of the bottle. Still, we managed to have a big impact on environment by reviewing all the components of the packaging.
At UPM, we are used to categorizing our action and our products with the famous 4R: reduce, recycle, renew, and recycling. It is a simple and effective way to identify the ecological benefit of a product. In this logic, it would be interesting to understand the action you have taken to improve your performance and strengthen the value of your brand. Let's be concrete and start with your bottle. What actions have you implemented to respond to the ecological and economic constraints?
Okay, let's start with the bottle. The improvements made on the bottle are the most important in terms of environmental impact, even if it's not visually apparent. Because yes, as you said, Vincent, if we don't know that changes had been made on the bottle, it is very difficult to notice because both bottles are very similar. So we made the bottle lighter by reducing its weight by 18% from 600 grams to 490 grams. And the rate of recycled glass has been increased by almost 12% thanks to our bottle supplier. Add to this that the shape of the bottle has been adapted to protect the label during shipment by creating a reserve.
You introduced a crucial topic because overpackaging is a favorite target when we talk about waste reduction. Lisa, could you develop that point?
Yes, so as I said, the creation of the bottle reserve to protect the label has made it possible to remove the cardboard partition that were previously in the cardboard cases, so to protect labels. The other change made on the cardboard was to stop bleaching. As you can see on the slides, it switched white into craft, and we also resourced the graphics to reduce the amount of ink used. Noted that our cardboards are 100% recycled and FSC certified, which is an environmental label for sustainable forest management.
Now the label, this is a topic we know quite well because you have chosen a UPM Raflatac material, our forest film. For those who are not yet familiar with this major innovation, this is a film made exclusively from renewable wood-based raw materials within an ICC certified value chain, allowing to gradually replace films of fossil origin. At last but not least, we recycle your glassine thanks to our rough cycle process, and this is the case for all the Pernod Ricard sites in France. Lisa, do you want to react on this point?
Yes. In fact, the change of the label is not very visual. There is no visual or technical impact of this change, but there is a real positive environment impact with the reduction of 66% of carbon emissions by using a 100% wood-based solution. And in a continuous improvement process, we are constantly looking for new solutions to meet our customers' expectations and to offer a product that is ever more sustainable.
Let's be frank, an action that is effective from a sustainability point of view must also be effective economically. Logistic is a very important variable. What are your improvements on that topic?
On that topic, yes, we made logistic optimization. It is not only the carbon emissions from packaging that we have reduced, we have also been able to reduce our carbon emissions in terms of logistics, thanks to the lightening of the packaging. Indeed, it is now possible to load 31 pallets in a truck instead of 29, and 29 pallets instead of 19 in a container. So this had reduced the number of trucks in containers and therefore the amount of carbon emissions, which represents 2,022 tons of carbon equivalents corresponding to 1 year of production for us today, which is 14,000 million bottles. If we addition the gain of carbon emissions concerning glass, cardboard, and logistics, the project has resulted in a reduction of more than 1,000 tons of carbon equivalent per year. And so if we consider a production of 14,000 million bottles, sorry. And to illustrate,
Not yet.
To illustrate this figure, how 1,032 tons of carbon emissions are equivalent to 1,032 round trip flights from Paris to New York.
Here we approached the topic of your repack from a very functional angle. The question that tickles me is, why didn't you take advantage of this to change the aesthetic, the graphics of your label?
So as I said previously, we wouldn't like to destabilize our clients. As you can see on these slides, Lillet labels have now small changes over the past, and more recently by small touches. We come with history, we need to respect it, just like the consumer does. So you can see we still have the Bordeaux lions on the labels, and these views as well as the key colors. It appears that the consumers like this idea of historical ensure. It also represents our authenticity and reassure the consumer on the product inside. Especially in these uncertain times, this time we preferred concentrating on the contents and reinforce our brand value rather than the surface. Which does not mean that the marketing department is not constantly thinking it over.
Thanks a lot, Lisa. Thank you all for your attention. And now, if you have a question for Lisa or me, don't be shy and ask.
Thanks, Vincent. Thanks, Lisa. Okay, I'm going to check if there's any question here. There's a question, perhaps we can solve this together. They're asking if there's possibility to recycle the labels, if there's waste in this recycling, or if the adhesive is affecting the recycling process.
For now, we can't recycling the label. The focus is on the source of the raw material, but it's a way to improve the quality of the label. But for now, the focus is on as we said, the source of the raw material.
Of course, and in case if you want to recycle the label, you would have to use wash-off adhesive in order to separate the label from the bottle, and then the adhesive is going to be removed from the label, and then you have to find a recycling company that can take that waste and turn it into a resource.
And there's another question in terms of the liner is recyclable?
Yeah, the liner is 100% recycled by our RAF cycle process. And as I said, this is the case for all the Pernod Ricard sites in France.
Okay, great. So thank you. I'm going to speak about the recycling process here in Latin America. Acá en Latinoamérica, él mencionó un proceso que se llama RAF Cycle, que es un programa de reciclado de liner que tiene UPM Raflatac en todo el mundo. Está implementado en el área de Europa, en Estados Unidos, y hoy lo estamos desarrollando para implementar acá y para desarrollar un proveedor que pueda tomar el liner, que es residuo de todos los usuarios finales, ya sea PET o Glassine.
I got a question.
Okay.
Excellent presentation, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Gracias a todos.
I was wondering, Lisa, if you have had the opportunity to calculate the return on investment that you have done in the past with this change. I mean, we've seen improvements clearly in terms of the reductions of the emissions. However, in terms of the investment, have you been able to calculate it? Do you have any results in terms of that you can share?
No, in terms of investments, I don't have the information of that. Sorry.
No worries. And in terms of the brand communications, do you happen to communicate this to the end consumer how do you manage this externally? Because I mean, this is an internal presentation. Or do you show this to the consumer? How does it work?
Yes, it's about the marketing service, which present the project of our consumer by with articles, or we share this video. We made a presentation with pen to words, and we kept this video and show the video to our consumer to make them that they can say that we made a lot of changes of our packaging.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you.
I must.
Okay, so I'll let other people to keep asking. No,
Okay. Okay, we have some more questions coming up. One of them is, if you remove the separator inside the wine box, how do you avoid bottles from clashing?
I didn't understand the question.
If you remove the, it's not separator, I don't know how to say it.
Cardboard, the cardboard.
The cardboard inside the box, the
Yeah.
cardboard, if you remove it, then the labels are going to be clashing between them.
No, because we create a reserve. It's not very visually. You can't so see it in the bottle. It's not very visually, but there is a little reserve.
Okay, so here I'm going to show
yes,
you.
Here
Like
it's on the slides.
The bottle gets inside and then outside.
Yeah.
You have the reserve just here.
So with that, the labels can't scratches on.
Okay, so you preserve the label, but the bottles are still clashing each other. Do you have any problems? Did you find that they were marking the bottles where
No.
they clashed?
No, because there is a special treatment on the bottle, and it permits to not have the abrasions.
Okay, that's great. There's another question, and they say, I see a lot of effort made related to the bottle, the box, and the label. Are you paying any attention to the sustainability around closure systems? Every bottle goes along with the closure.
So with the closure is it's difficult because of the closure that we have, and we spoke about our supplier, and maybe in a few years, if we find solutions, we could change the closure and made it more sustainable. But now we didn't do that.
If I can add something, Lisa, about that topic,
Yes.
just to explain that point. The closure today is a screw cap, 100% aluminum, so you can recycle it without no problem. The only weak point in terms of sustainability of this screw cap is the joint, the insert inside the screw cap. But once we will be able to find a solution for this insert, it will be very easy to recycle this part because it's 100% aluminum. So no problem with that.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No more questions.
No? I got the last one.
For them.
I like to ask questions.
Okay.
Realize that. Lisa, is this type of projects? I like the part in which Vincent asked you about the change in the design label, because I'm quite sure that everybody here, generally speaking, we tend to see these type of labels as perhaps a little bit old in this region of the markets, and however you talk about heritage, you talk about history, something that you can not only you can but you do have, right, in reality. So that's something really admirable to keep. However, I was wondering if this type of projects are something that all other part of other areas with other brands are also taking part, are also developing. Because I think this takes a lot of efforts in terms of resources, in terms of investment. However, the result is almost the same, right? So was it worth it? Do you recommend it among your friends and other people?
You want to know if
Do you recommend doing this? Yeah, doing this type of projects in which you don't change really the general look and feel of the label.
The aesthetic,
you change.
Yeah.
Is it something that other areas in Pernod Ricard are doing as well? Do you recommend it to other companies? That's basically the question.
Okay. I think it's the decision of each company. I can't say that I recommend for all companies, but for Lillet, customers are very attached of the history and of this visual. So I don't know what to say.
I think it just depends on the history of the brand. If you have a strong story to tell to your consumer related to a sort of traditional things and historical things, it's really important, as Lisa said in the presentation, to maintain the consumer in this comfort zone. Because in this changes time, it's a crucial point for big brands like Lillet to maintain your consumer in this comfort zone. But for Pernod Ricard, it's always different. It depends on the brand and on the target and the history of the brand. You can see it on the old brands of whiskey from the Pernod Ricard Group. They keep the same graphics and the same aesthetic because this is the way to transmit the history part and the tradition of the brand. So it could be tricky to change the packaging of old maison like Lillet or Glenlivet on this kind of things.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks. There's a question. There's a comment here. We have here Alejandro Rodriguez from Inventions, and they are suppliers, they're closure suppliers, and they say, today there are 0 carbon footprints and 100% recyclable closure systems available around the world and in Argentina too. So, ¿algún comentario que quieras compartir con todos? La idea es esto, compartir, que surjan estas consultas y si tenés algo que comentarnos. Excelente. For those who are connected and on streaming, couldn't hear him, but they say that they have a wide portfolio, not here in Argentina, but also in Chile and all around the world. And so if you want to reach to him, you can ask, and I can invite you for a talk later. Maybe we can do a live in LinkedIn or a talk, and we talk about closures and everything that we can offer in sustainable packaging.
Yes, with pleasure.
Okay, very interesting. Thanks a lot. And one last question is, to UPM, is it possible to get this liner in Argentina? Are you talking about the PCR liner, right? the liner con contenido reciclado. PCR liner, it's available here in Argentina for some products. So anyone that has a question can reach out to the host if it's virtual, or can reach out to me. For example, we have State 8 with PCR liner. We have Envy, that's 100% recycled content in the label material and 90% in the liner. So if you have any question, you can reach out to me. And there's a last question that maybe there's people from Veralia here that can help us. They say, can you tell us more about the protection area? I think that they're asking about the bottle that we call here La Reserva del Panel. So Alejandra, I don't know if you have anything to comment, or anyone if has a question can reach out to Alejandra. She is from Veralia, and we can discuss about this protection.
Espacio de reserva.
Ujú.
Igual en español puedes responderle a la gente y no, cuando sea Luisa.
Bueno,
pues si no, el esfuerzo que hacemos, no es fácil estar acá hablando así, traduciendo.
Es un montón.
Por suerte me acompaña la Flor, que te ayuda tanto.
Okay, Vincent and Lisa, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for sharing this
Thank
project.
you so much for your time, guys.
I think
Thank
that
you.
it's
Pleasure.
very
Gracias.
interesting. So, I'm really surprised with your Spanish, Vincent. We're going to start talking in Spanish now.
We will see it next year.
Okay, muchas gracias. Un abrazo.
De nada.
Gracias.
Bye bye.
Gracias.
Bueno.
Adiós.
Okay, cambiamos de nuevo al español. Vamos al Menti.
Momento de propuesta. ¿O no?
De-
Menti.
Menti.
Propuesta. Te dejo.
No te dejo. Todo tuyo.
Bueno, momento para proponerles, vamos a hacer un corte ahora un ratito, ¿sí? ¿Estoy bien con el programa? Pues no lo miré.
No,
Y
entonces
antes
voy
vamos
yo,
a hacer...
chicos.
Ah, listo. Por eso dije, Flor, un pequeño gap.
¿Se acuerdan del Menti? ¿Quieren ingresar a Menti nuevamente? Ahora cambió, en el mismo logo, en el mismo portal de Menti, vamos a poder cargar palabras. Y que lo que les proponemos y lo que queremos es que nos digan cómo se van de esta mañana, de esta primer parte de la jornada, qué les quedó, como experiencia, como sentimiento, como aprendizaje. Queremos que compartan una palabra en Menti y las vamos a estar viendo por acá.
Momento de propuesta.
Pero
En un
te
ratito
estaba
vamos
yendo
a
un break.
No, en un ratito vamos a ir a un break. Ahora les queremos proponer que nos propongan palabras.
Ahí está.
Me gusta enredarme.
Esta.
¿Se han dado cuenta? Esperamos y vamos contando cómo vamos a seguir.
Bueno, y acá les contamos a los que están en virtual que los estamos viendo todos desde el presencial, así que si quieren prender la cámara, saludar. Ahí empezaron a aparecer las palabras: motivada,
bueno.
informado, con contenido, interesada, curiosa, entusiasmado. Qué bueno. Almuerzo, escucho por ahí.
Vale todo, ¿eh? Vale todo.
Se vale todo. Con hambre puedes poner.
Sentimientos no se
hambre.
juzgan,
Sí.
no son espacios para juzgar. Pueden decir lo que quieran. Pueden proponer que yo ya no esté y se quede Flor sola, eso también es válido.
Sí.
Y con esto empezamos.
Ahí los veo cargando todavía.
Empezamos a terminar la mañana, ¿no? Como dice ahí. Y a despedirnos de los que se sumaron virtualmente.
Virtual. Con un video.
Con un par de videos.
Uh-huh.
¿O uno solo?
Con un par de videos.
¿Los dos?
Con dos.
Si vamos pasando los videos mientras van cargando las páginas y vemos cómo quedó al final, ¿se podrá?
Gonza dice ir pasando los videos mientras se carga
¿Y vemos al final cómo queda y nos despedimos? ¿O no? ¿Te parece? ¿O te complico? Genial. Sí, igual se quedó ahí, ¿hay que actualizar eso? ¿O...
Sí, me parece que no se está actualizando porque veo que hay mucho cargado, pero si quieren vamos con los videos. Dale.
Y ahí cerramos.
Es que no están pudiendo cargar.
Una plataforma que permite que cuando lo necesites puedas mirar hacia atrás de manera sencilla. Implementando Mundes podrán reducir costos financieros.
Momento chivo también. Momento chivo aquí de poquito, ¿no? Muy bien, con contenido, motivada, motivado,
Informado,
informado.
curioso, entusiasmado,
El
comprometido.
lenguaje inclusivo podría haber servido acá, ¿no? Si lo hubiéramos hecho...
Con frío, sí. Sí, perdón, el
Sí.
clima no nos
Yo también,
acompañó.
ahí yo voy
Sí.
también con...
Y bueno, vamos al otro para cerrar. Entonces, bueno, vamos al video y nos despedimos. Dale.
Ahí van apareciendo más.
Dando rienda suelta al potencial de las personas y las empresas para aprovechar nuevas oportunidades y tomar medidas orientadas a opciones más sostenibles. Desde 1970 hemos utilizado nuestra experiencia para ayudar a todo un universo de marcas a expresarse y destacarse. Sabemos que tener un impacto requiere más que simplemente soluciones innovadoras de etiquetado. Para dejar una huella, apunte alto y siga su pasión. Renuévese con valentía. Confíe en la gente para triunfar. Trabaje en conjunto y céntrese en ayudar a otros a vivir, trabajar, sentir y pensar mejor. A fin de cuentas, eso es lo que construye su legado y hace una diferencia hoy y para las generaciones venideras. Deje huella. Construya su legado. UPM, Raflatac, etiquetado de un futuro más inteligente.
Muy bien.
Bueno, y con todas estas sensaciones, sustentabilidad en el ADN, wow. Qué
¿Cómo manejar la
mucho.
impresión? ¿Será aplicable acá? Buena pregunta.
Tal
O
cual.
comentario. Sí, todo es aplicable. Hay que ver cómo. ¿O qué? Aprendiendo, encantada, informado, expectante, expandiendo ideas. Está bueno.
Escuchar es éxito. Qué interesante. Bueno, con todas estas sensaciones, la verdad que los videos eran para presentarles las marcas que los invitaron a estar acá, que son Mundes, representado por Gonzalo y su equipo, UPM Raflatac, por mí, por Paula y Claudio que me acompañan hoy, y Juan Felipe que está conectado de forma virtual. Muchas gracias a todos. Queríamos invitarlos a que participen de esto y a compartir con ustedes. Esperemos que la propuesta de las charlas de la mañana les haya gustado mucho. A los que están conectados de forma virtual los despedimos, les agradecemos mucho que se hayan conectado y por cualquier consulta saben que pueden acercarse a nosotros.
Antes de, perdón,
¿Sí?
les contamos a los que se van también, de que nos van a dejar de acompañar remoto, que este evento permitió que más de 300 chicos aprendan jugando. No queremos dejar de insistir en eso, pues gracias a la participación y gracias a que se sumaron, bueno, podemos darle esa posibilidad, y todos los que están acá acompañándonos, los invitamos a que también nos acompañen con regalar alguna botella o compartirlo o difundirlo o incluso aplicar este tipo de políticas en todos los que manejen marcas o tengan proposición, digamos, agencias creativas y demás, para incorporar este tipo de cosas también a la comunidad. Pues mientras más sean o seamos, mejor. Así que también recordarles eso e invitarlos a sumarse desde otro lado.
Exactamente.
Y no se olviden de los documentos para los headsets, para devolverlos, que ahí los están esperando, creo que faltaba uno, si no me equivoco. Y yo no tengo más avisos.
Nada más. Muchas gracias a todos los virtuales, muchas gracias Juanfe, muchas gracias a todos. Y los que están acá, los invitamos a almorzar y a seguir por la tarde.
Muchas gracias. Gracias a todos los que se conectaron.
Muchísimas gracias a todos. Nos vamos despidiendo. Espero que les haya gustado y los esperamos la próxima.
Slowly, our luck is changing. My thoughts are slowly ranging. Slowly, our luck is changing. My thoughts are slowly ranging. Slowly, you're turning away, and I can't help but say, you've taken all that I've got, you've taken all that I've got, you've taken all that I've got to give. Somewhere the road is turning, and I can feel the yearning. You've taken all that I've got, you've taken all that I've got, you've taken all that I've got to give. You've taken all that I've got, you've taken all that I've got, you've taken all that I've got to give. You've taken all that I've got, you've taken all that I've got, you've taken all that I've got to give. You've taken all that I've got, you've taken all that I've got, you've taken all that I've got to give. You've taken all that I've got, you've taken all that I've got, you've taken all that I've got to give. You've taken all that I've got, you've taken all